Boys and girls, we're close to wrapping things up. This is video 4. We are going to deal with some vocabulary as well as what are opposites and absolute values. Okay. Should we start?
Yes.
If you say so. Let's real quickly, class, just go over some vocabulary for positive and negative numbers. When you hear words like gain, whether it's gaining yards in a football game or making gains in exercise, those are all positives. Above sea level, okay, that would be a positive number. Increasing in anything, that's a positive. Up, going upward is a positive. Deposit, when you put money into your bank, okay, and I might say deposit, where's the money coming? The focus is on your account. When you deposit money into a bank account, it is growing, it is gaining, it is positive. And when you earn money, you're gaining something. Those are all positives. Negatives, on the other hand, are loss. If you lose something, something that you had is gone. It's taken away because you lost it. Okay, below sea level. Okay, that's a negative. Decrease, once again, when you or going down. Those two things are negative. And withdraw, when you withdraw, you're taking money out of your account. You're subtracting money. That's a negative. And when you spend money, money is, once again, when you spend money, you end up having less money. The money is going away. It's being taken away. You're spending it. Bye-bye. I think we have the idea. There's some key vocabulary. Know it well. Boys and girls, let's take a look at opposites first. Now, if we were to talk just in literary terms about opposites, if I said hot, you'd say cold. If I said wet, you'd say dry. If I were to say left, you would say right. If I said up, you'd say down. We have a pretty good concept of what opposites are. And we're using different objects. And not everything has an opposite, but numbers definitely do. But with numbers, the strange thing about numbers is when we talk about opposites in regard to numbers, there's a sense of sameness. Which there is also in different objects such as light and dark. They're kind of there's the sameness about them, but yet they're kind of going in different directions. And that's exactly what's happening with numbers. See, when I talk about 7, we all understand way back somewhere in elementary school, we were taught that if we were representing 7 on the number line, you start out at 0, which is the origin or the home base. We start at the origin and we jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so my jumps aren't exactly right, but you get the idea. 7 jumps to the right, and that would get you to 7. Now, this year in middle school, some of you for the first time have been introduced to negative numbers. Now, see, what would the opposite of 7 be? Well, I would still want that sameness, that same distance. We call that absolute value. Okay? The absolute value, which is the distance that a number has from 0, the absolute value would be 7. So we want something that has the same absolute value, so we would jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm getting a little bit better. Okay, we want to have that sameness, the same absolute value, but now we're going in a different direction. Okay, our absolute values are the same, but what's different is our direction. Okay, in fact, we're going in a completely different direction. With positive 7, we were going to the right. With negative 7, which is its opposite, we are going to the left. Okay, so there's kind of an explanation of what opposites are, as well as absolute value. Absolute value is, I had one girl, very creative answer. I said, what do you think absolute value is? And she means that something is absolutely valuable, and I really enjoyed that. But when we talk about absolute value, we're really talking about the magnitude, the distance that the number is from 0. And our absolute value is always going to be a positive number because we don't really care about the direction of it. Okay? We don't see if it's going to the left, that would be negative. If we're going to the right, that would be positive. And we just put 7 as a neutral. It's a neutral number. You'll never have a negative answer for the absolute value of any amount. Okay, so absolute value is the distance that a number, that an integer is from 0. Okay, the magnitude. Opposites, its opposites have the same magnitude, but they're going in opposite directions or a completely different direction. So if I say -7, the opposite of -7 would be +7. If I were to say somewhere out here, -55, the opposite of -55 would be +55. And if I were to say somewhere in between, like 36, the opposite of 36 would be somewhere in the middle over here, which would be -36. Okay? Opposites have the same magnitude but different direction. Absolute value doesn't care anything about direction, it just wants to know the magnitude or how far a number is from 0. Shalom. That's the end. Okay, this is